Hi guys. Today we are going to learn logical volumes. Okay, our topic is logical volumes today. So, how to create LV partitions in Linux and in Red Hat and any OS actually. So, how to create those and all those we'll learn today. Okay. See, guys, what is how to create logical volume in? So you have multiple disks. Okay, this is kind of any like 500 GB or 1 TB or 2 TB disk, something like that. You have multiple disk based on the requirement you added, right? By getting the approval from the VMware, if that is VMware environment, right? So if there is physical environment, like we can request storage team to get the disk, right? So on top of it, we create a PV actually, physical volume we create on top of a disk, and then multiple PVs. For each disk, there will be one PV, right? For each disk, we can create one PV, and multiple PV combination. We create a volume group. Okay, which means like for one disk, you create a volume group, and if you are taking another PV, we extend this volume group. Okay, so once you extend this volume group, you have the space, I mean multiple combinations of pvs will be converted into vg, right? So on this vg we can create, based on the size that we have, we can create the logical volumes, that is lvm partitions. Okay, so on top of lv, like we create a file system. So how to get the disk, and then how to create the PV on top of disk, and then how to create the VG, right? And if you are taking one more disk, for example, the space is full, and you need to extend this LV. Okay, for example, you took 100 GB here, and you want some more like 200 GB you wanted to assign. So you can take the under disk, and then you can create a PV, and then you can create the VG, and then on top of it, you can extend the LV. If space is available in the VG, we can directly extend the LV, and we can extend the file system as well, right? So something like this. So this is actual stuff here. If you understand this, it will be very easy, right? So first you need to get the disk, create a PV, create a VG, create LV on top of it, and create a file system. For example, the LV is almost full, the file system is getting full. You need to extend the space, right? Without downtime we can extend it, but you require space in vg. Okay, if space is not available in vg, what you can do is, if space is not available, then you can take another disk, and then you can create a pv. You can extend this vg. Once you extend this vg, you can extend this lv, and then you can extend this file system as well. Okay, so this is the actual diagram, just keep it in mind. I'll go through like all the commands here and everything. Okay, so first, you need to, if you want to create a pv, right, if you want to get the disk, right, you just run the echo command, echo hyphen 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 double greater than slash sys slash class skz underscore host 0 slash scan, something like this. You scan the disk at os level. Okay, you scan the disk at OS level for each HPA card. You don't know for which HPA card we added the disk. So for each HPA card, we run this command. It will just scan the channel target learn. Okay, it will just channel target and then learn. It will scan these three. Okay, then we should be able to see the disk. Then if you want to create a pv create. If you want to create a vg create. And that is what it is, right? If you need to create a pv, vg, lv, and then the file system, right? So pv, vg, lv create is the command. If you want to create the file system, mkfs is the command. Okay, so if you want to extend the vg extend is the command. Once you take the new disk, right, you need to extend the vg. So you don't need to extend the VG, you just create the PV. You just extend the VG, and then you need to extend the LV also. For existing LV, if you are extending, LV extend command will be useful. If you want to see how many PVs, how many VGs, how many LVs, these are the commands: PVS, VGS, LVS. And there are detailed information if you want to see. PV display you can run. Okay, PV display and VG display if you want to see the detailed information of VG, and then LV display for detailed information of LV. Okay, so something like this. These are some basic commands. And mkfs dot right xfs or ext4. or ext2 ext3, what are the file systems that we want, you can just assign those file systems. Okay. And then finally we can add an entry in the slash it is fs tab for permanent mounting. Okay. So I'll quickly show you how to create a LVM partition by getting the new disk, and then you'll understand better. Okay. So I requested VMware team to get the disk for M2 system, for example. So what they will do is they will add a new disk. So let's go to settings and then click on add. And in the real time, like, there will be a vCenter where they will add the disk. Okay. They can add it in the vSphere client also. There is an option to add. So I wanted to add a disk here, SCSI hard disk that is recommended. Next, next, and then how much GB that you want. For example, I want 40 gig. Okay. So 40 gig I'm taking. Next, and then finish. You're able to take the disk, right? And then click OK. Now I'm able to already logged in here. If you run lsblk command, the disk is not visible. Only SDA one disk is available. SDA2 SDB disk is not available. So what you need to do, you can run the echo command. Okay. So echo hyphen 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 channel target learn double get done slash sys class skz underscore host to 0 scan command we need to run. Once you run this, you also need to run for HPA card 2, HPA card 3, HPA card 4. We don't know, right? So for which we added. Let's check it whether the disk is visible or not now. Yes, SDB is visible. The 40 gig we just added. Now we need to create a PV on top of it, right? So PV create, right, slash dev slash SDB. This is the actual command. SDB, for SDB we are creating PV. Once you create a PV, right, just look into the actual diagram here. So once you get the disk, you need to create the PV and then VG and then LV and then file system, right? So you need to create a VG now, because PV already created. VG create, you need to give the VG name. For example, I wanted to create it for databases. So database underscore VG. Okay. And then what is the, for which PV, slash dev slash SDB, right? SDB. This is the PV for this PV I'm trying to create. Okay, which is created. Now we need to create a LV. So LV create, you need to provide how much space that you want. So option capital L, we can specify how much space you want. For example, I want a 30 gig. Okay. So or 300 GB or 500 GB, 3 TB, whatever the disk size that you want, partition size you want. And then hyphen n, we can give the name of the LV. So I'm giving for Oracle DB. So ara data underscore LV for Oracle database. I'm creating it. And what is the VG? From which VG you are creating it? Because if you see here, PV created, right, and VG also created, right? So PV created and VG also created. So from which VG, there will be multiple VGs in the real time, right? So from which VG you wanted to create this LV, you need to give it. So LV create option capital L size, and then given the name of the LV, and we need to give the name of VG, right? Database VG. This is the syntax. Okay, just give enter. LV also created. Once creation of the LV is done, so you created a PV, and then we created a volume group, and we created a LV, and then we need to create file system. So mkfs.xfs or axfs, whatever the file system that are available in the Linux that we are taking. XFS I am taking here. Slash dev. Here, what is the VG name? Database VG. In this VG, we have LV. What is the LV? So Vara data LV, right? So this is the LV. So for this, I'm creating a file system. File system is also created. Now we need to mount it in a, is either like temporary mounting. I want to do permanent mounting in the slash etc fs tab. Okay, fs tab. In this command, I wanted to add. Okay, so come down. So here slash dev slash, what is the VG here? Database underscore VG. What is the LV here? So our data underscore LV. This is the LV, right? This is the device. What is the mount point? For example, I want our data as a mount point. And then what is the file system here? XFS permissions. I'm giving defaults. I'm not changing anything here. And I don't want to take metadata, and I don't want to check up during bootup. So 00 I'm giving. So escape colon W enter. Now you need to refresh those entries. how to refresh those entries anywhere, like you are making changes to this file, you need to like actually refresh to take effect. Mount hyphen a command you need to run. Okay, see any syntax errors, right? So slash aura data does not exist because we didn't create this directory, right? So mkdir slash aura data we just created. Now if you run mount hyphen a again, everything is good because nothing written here, right? So if you run mount command, you can see here dev mapper database vg oracle lv, and like this is the file system created, that is xfs file system, and metadata something it took. Okay, now if you want to see like df-ht command also you can run disk free space. You can see this is the partition, this is the device, right? And this is the like file system, and the 30 gig is it took available, right? 33 mb like metadata information of the disk is there, right? We created. Now you can also run lsblk command to see, right? sdb, this is the vg and lv, and then it took like 30 gb slash for slash var data. So this is how you can create a disk. I'll just explain the diagram again for you. So what I did, I created a disk, I created the PV, and then I created the VG, I created the LV, and then file system. I just mounted in the slash /fs tab, and then just scanned it using mount -a command, and then checked with mount command and df-ht command, and also lsblk command. So this is all about creation of the creation of the new logical volume. Okay, and then how we can use it in the file system. So in next video, I'll be there with you for extending the file system, how to extend the existing file system, and if space is available, if space is not available in the VG. Okay. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, guys.